All right, moving on to 12.2, which is the first reading of policy GDF-R. Do I have a motion to untable policies GDF and GDF-R support staff hiring?
Madam Chair, I move to untable policy GDF and GDF-R from the January 19, 2021 board meeting.
Thank you, Dr. Guyton. Do I have a second? Second. Thank you, Mr. Anderson. Is there any discussion? All right. All in favor of untabling policies GDF and GDF-R, please say aye.
Aye. Aye.
Anyone opposed? And the motion carries.
So I'm going to withdraw my motion from the table.
Thank you, Ms. Garris. Ms. Garris made the original motion on January 19th regarding policies GDF, GDF-R, and she has asked to withdraw her motion. Are there any objections? Okay, if none, then it has been withdrawn, and we'll move to the first reading of policy GDF, GDF-R, and again, I will turn it over to Dr. Guyton.
So, Madam Chair, this is number 3 of the 4 policies that were referred to the ad hoc committee. With regard to policy GDF, I'll draw your attention to the first paragraph. It has been the typical board practice when it comes to support staff hiring for notification of support staff hiring rather than it coming to the board for vote. Quite frankly, state law is ambiguous within this area, and we have typically found that across the state, there's probably about a 50-50 with regard to districts and how they operate. Some districts do ratify positions, other school districts do not ratify support staff positions. And so we really wanted to seek to determine clarity on this. So you will see in the second sentence, the superintendent will notify the board of all newly hired support staff and is subject to ratification by the board within 90 days of employment. The superintendent is authorized to assign and reassign support staff in the best interest of the district. Now, I will point out that there was a lot of discussion about this and the ability to hire, say, for example, a bus driver. And if we are in a bus driver shortage, we do not want we do not want a vote by the board to hold that hiring up. We believe it significantly would impact the ability of the district to perform the work. And so by means of ratification within the 90-day period will allow us to do just that. It will comply with what can be perceived as ambiguous state law, but also not make a board vote a precondition to employment, which was very important to not only the district, but to us as well as the board. And so that was the main crux of this conversation regarding GDF. I'll answer any questions, or the committee will answer any questions.
So how does the district handle a hiring decision? The employee starts, they drive a bus for 30 days, it comes to the board, and we don't ratify it. Do we fire them at that point?
So it's within a 90-day window?
So they come, that's even work, they work for us 2 months, and at 60 days, we say, nope, we don't support Brent Powers as a bus driver. So
there's also exists within the work agreement, and Mr. Stacey, you can speak to this as well, a 90-day probationary period, and so that may possibly occur either way. So it may be that during that probationary period that the person is determined not to be a fit for the position, and therefore the ratification is retracted, if you will. The position is retracted. Mr. Stacey?
So that happens anyway. I mean, every support staff person is hired on a 90-day probation. My question would be, would it be like I give y'all the board report each month that includes the support staff hires? Is it simply a motion out of executive session to accept the board report as presented?
It would correspond to current practice. And so with current practice being, here are your certified recommendations, here are the support staff recommendations. And rather than saying for report only, it would be for ratification purposes. And again, that was important to us as well, to not make sure that we're taxing an already busy HR department with additional bureaucracy. if
So
you
I
will.
talked to Georgetown School District, and that's what they do. He presents the board report, similar to what I do for y'all with everybody listed, and where you have a motion to accept certified, you have a motion to accept certain numbers of administrators. My thinking is then you would have a motion that would accept or ratify the board report as presented or something like that.
And that was the feeling of the committee as well.
And so that, your report to us, would it correspond with that 90-day probationary period so that we're not ratifying people?
So what would happen there is you get the board report once a month. So it would be the support staff people that we hire from one board meeting to the next, or recommended for future hire from that board meeting. So it could be a combination. If you noticed, it wasn't tonight, but I think the last board report, there were some recommendations for the rest of this year and maybe one or two for next year. So you would just be ratifying that as it's presented. I think that's the way it would work.
But we could have the potential of telling a bus driver who'd worked for us for 60 days that not because of performance, but because the board did not approve their hire, we're terminating them.
I don't think it would, I think 60 days is a stretch. I mean,
30 days.
it would be less than 30 days because we have a board meeting at least once a month. And as of late, we've had them every 2 weeks. So it's, it would happen more frequently that you would ratify it. But then I think Dr. Guyton is correct. If we had somebody working that would be on a 90-day probation, then we'd have to, and y'all, well, I don't want to guess what y'all might do, but I'm thinking, it would be a situation where there was poor performance or something. There'd be a reason for why we would not move them forward.
Right, it wouldn't just be out of the blue.
Yeah, I can't imagine that you would, I don't like this guy's name, so let's send him on his way.
I think when we had new board member training, the attorney gave us an instance where once an employee had been basically hired by the district and they were on probation, it was found out that they had some kind of criminal charges. So the school district just said, the board has not ratified your employment. You basically weren't hired to begin with, and so we're just gonna let you go.
But I think they can do that anyway, can't
Yes.
you?
Right,
You can.
right.
You can.
Yeah.
Because with certified staff, that's what happens. It never comes back for a 90-day probationary review. And again, as a board, we don't want to be in 90-day probationary review.
And for certified staff, we typically don't start them till after the board has
Yeah, I
voted on
agree,
it.
because, that's.
And that is the main difference, is that for certified staff, the board vote is a precondition to employment, whereas with support staff, it is not a precondition to employment.
But the board has the power to reverse the decision, not based upon performance.
Correct. In similar fashion, we would have the ability to not approve a certified submittal. Moving to GDF-R, there was no material change from what was provided to the ad hoc committee. And so that stands as originally presented. On a personal note, I will say that I am very proud of the work that was done by Ms. Garris, Mr. Anderson, and Dr. Little, and the time that was spent on this. This was a first for us, and so it was a little bit of us trying to work our way through that. I will say that, we all come to this with our own opinions, our ideas, maybe even contact from the community, maybe contact from teachers, support staff, whatever it may be. And so all of that weighed into this decision. And additionally, I will say that when we approach this, I asked Dr. Little to approach this, yes, as the superintendent of Lexington School District One, but also approach this as us preparing for the superintendent 15, 20 years from now. Not that you're on timeline, Dr. Little, but you get what I'm saying, is that we need to prepare for. We need to set a policy that provides success for both the board as well as current superintendent and future superintendent. And so I think we did that. I believe we accomplished that. And so, again, I just want to thank the ad hoc committee for their time.
And I would echo that. Thanks, Dr. Guyton and the committee for the work that you've done. Especially kind of this was uncharted territory for our board and for our administration. And I appreciate HR being involved with the committee. I know that y'all did yeoman's work with that as well. And so I think a lot went into this, very thoughtful work. And so board, just take some time to review the recommendation, and second reading will be at our June meeting.